So first things first, man, welcome to freaking February. Welcome to the wave. Welcome to pin chain season. And last but not least, certainly welcome to our brand new, newly launched Leadership Academy edition of our business development group. As you guys know, for the entire year 2018, we did Leadership Academy, and it was phenomenal. We did 90-day plans with each other, and we learned it, we grew, and we had a lot of leaders that came out of that. And as our organization is approaching, to be quite honest, we might be sniffing press team this month the way y'all working. Like, to be completely 100% honest, the way things is going. It's just time for us to kind of level up and change, and to have us all on the same page. And we decided to create this group, just to let you guys know, amongst our leaders. We decided to create this group so we all can give you all the leadership inside of one container. So when we're talking about one container, we're talking about having myself, and our tab team, Kylie and Orlando, and Annie, as well as, our active world team members like Adrian, and even, people who are up and coming, like Seven, and people doing the crazy high volume, to where we can have all of that leadership that we had, all the leaders in one group, to where we all can be talking the same language. So this call is really going to be for that every week, and there's going to be a little bit more accountability than you're going to get on family time. And this is kind of like our accountability call of the past, except for it's not just going to be me. It's going to be a lot of, different people that get a chance to lead this call and do some crazy things. I know we had to cancel some calls in order to get here today. We had to rearrange some groups, but trust me, it's so much better when all of us are moving and marching to the beat of the same drum. A lot of things get to happen at the same time. So with that being said, what we were usually going to do on this call is we're going to have like the last 5 minute slide. I don't know if those of you who have been to like JKOs and even some STSs do like current events to promotion slide. I'm actually working on getting an updated one so we can actually practice that because we want you guys to get really good at coming up with being able to do your own HOM. Like, we want you to be able to get in front of the room and do any section and be able to go over all the promotions. So if you guys know, as you know, I asked the question in the group, just basically wanted to get you all's like ideas on the things that may be holding you back, things you might be struggling with, and is really, really great. I literally sat down and I wrote down everybody's response. I told you I would. And then on the back I'm going to talk about that later. But literally, this is very, very important. This is my flow. And I hadn't wrote it down until just right now. But I'm like, man, if we all just did a variation or just a piece of the flow, a lot of these questions wouldn't even be questions. So here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to read some questions, and I maybe say like who asked the question or whatnot, but I'm going to give you guys my answers. So you might want to take notes, because some of these are like 3 or 4 or 5 people asked the same question, and that lets me know that probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more of you guys probably had the same question, just didn't ask it because you already seen it. So we're going to start this off with a very, very important question that was asked by a couple of people, and it was a confidence question. And the part that I really want to read is, people not believing me when I have a lose weight now, ask me how I button on, and I'm not fit already, or I'm not comfortable with my results. And if you're one of those people who feel like you're not at the optimal result level yet, if you feel like you're one of those people who you're scared to put a lose weight now, ask me how button on, because you feel like you're not at your desired or your destination yet, this answer is for you. We gonna need you to focus, Andy, or turn your video off, please. Thank you very much. But what we are going to do is answer that question right now. And the simple way I can put it without going on like a rant or anything like that, and this is for everybody, and this is really for the new people too, but somebody out there in the world is dying to lose 5 pounds. And sometimes, you may have a whole lot of weight to lose. You may feel like, man, my journey is 60 pounds that I got to lose, and I'm only at 20 or I'm only at 10. And, I'm not where I want to be. So nobody's really going to believe that the products work. And the crazy thing is, all you really got to do is love the result that you have. If you lost 10 pounds, there's probably literally, I don't know, man. There's probably literally thousands of people out there that want to lose 10 pounds. So you get a chance to pick your target audience. Somebody out there is dying to lose a pound. How many of you all, before you ever started, you tried a bunch of stuff and could not get any kind of result? And then you get in Herbalife, and all of a sudden, you have a result, and you think that, man, I got to master these results. I'm gonna tell you what. This is one thing that I want you guys to do before we even go anywhere further today with the conversation. It's literally, we're going to take all of those things that are limiting beliefs that you may think will hinder you from doing this business or are hindering you right now, and we want to write them down, and we're going to ball it up, and I want you to put it in the garbage. If you got a garbage next to you, I want you to write all your limiting beliefs down, ball that stuff up, and throw it in the garbage. Yes, ma'am. How may I help you? Okay, okay. I'll be there in a second. Go. So every time, same one. Every time, she likes to stay up under me. But making sure you're getting rid of your limiting beliefs. I'm gonna tell you guys something for me. Same twin, yeah, literally the same one every single time. But for me, I used to say, man, I'm already in shape. People are gonna be like, hey, you're already in shape. You can't help me. So there's always an angle that you can put a roadblock in your mind that says people aren't going to listen to me. But guess what? There are so many people out here that are waiting and dying just to have somebody help them lose 8 pounds, or even if it ain't weight loss. People want to feel better about themselves. So if you feel better taking the products and drinking the shakes and having your tea and having your aloe, the confidence is there in that the products work. For me, the products work because of how I felt. My first result, and I always tell, when I tell my full story, my very, 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 very first result is when I got my distributor kit. I hadn't had the products yet because I didn't have any money to order my stuff, but the tea package was in there in the original HMP package. And I remember taking the tea, pouring the whole thing in a water bottle, shaking it up and drinking it. And I didn't even read. I thought it was 1 serving, and then it was 3. And I drank the tea, and I instantly, like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes later, I started sweating. And I started to get really, really hot. And I was like, yo, what the freak is happening? Like, what is going on? And I looked at the package, and it said 3 servings. So I had 3 servings of tea my very, very first time. But y'all know how I felt. I felt like I could stay up for 2 days. And I actually had crazy energy. I went to work, came back, and was like doing all this stuff. But the real reason why that's important is because I felt good as soon as I had the products. Y'all remember Super, if y'all hear his story, when he drank that first wild berry shake, he says as soon as he drank the shake, even though it wasn't the best flavor to possibly choose, he still felt different when he tried the products. So if you are somebody who feels good as you're taking the products and you're consuming the products, that's enough confidence to know that there's somebody else out there that's just like you. There's somebody out, there's at least 5 to 10 people probably in your inner circle whom are just like you that probably want to experience the results like how you got. So you want to have confidence in whether it's 5 pounds that you've lost, 50 pounds you lost, no matter what, you're on a journey. And I'm going to tell you guys the best thing to do. Here's a tip for you all who are just getting started, just really getting building. Have people go on this journey with you. Don't have them thinking that like you're their coach or you're going to be like you're a trainer to them and whatever. Like no, I want you to join this journey with me. Come along with me as I'm on a journey to becoming a better person. And maybe your upline is somebody who's been around for a long time, so maybe he can help you take care of both of you guys and follow up with both of you all. But understand, like it's people are more apt to do things with you than for you. Like I will most definitely go on this journey with you, and then maybe for you that'll make you feel better about how you even approach people, especially your inner circle. Hey, I want you guys to come on this journey with me because I'm trying to become a better person, and I care about you enough to say that I want you on this journey with me. And this is one thing I tell all of my distributors who start off too. I want you to post on Instagram or social media or Facebook. I don't want you to say, hey, looking for 5 to 10 clients. I really want you to say, hey, I'm looking for 5 to 10 people that want to take this journey with me. And I learned that because that's what Super Mario did. Super put that exact words on Facebook and had somebody order products right then before he ever even tried a product. I did the same thing. So it's, yeah, you guys become accountability partners with each other or with however you want to word it. But people are going to, people will for sure really want to get on the journey with you. So next question on here that 4 people wrote down was having a problem asking for help. And for me, I kind of think that this may stem from a couple of different ways maybe or reasons and a couple of different, I don't know if people all the way mean like they don't want to ask their upline for help or they don't want to be a bugaboo or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to asking for help, there's literally 2 kinds of ways you can go about it. If it's a question for things that you can find on myherbalife.com, trust me, you don't want to ask those questions. Okay, how to move up the marketing plan and when is the STS, like all of those things that are online. But questions like, hey, what do you think of this? Best practices. Hey, I don't understand this. For me, I had to have people tell me no at first. Like, I'm not bugging people asking them what their DMO is. I don't care about your DMO. Like, that's not a question that I want to ask anybody. But what I do want to know, I do want to ask people is what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Awesome. That works for you. Cool. Well, what do you think about me doing this? And what do you think about me doing that? I don't understand what this means. I don't understand what that means. And if you're somebody, and the craziest thing is, like, to be honest with y'all, I don't even really think there's nothing that's not on my Herbalife. I don't think there's like nothing that's not on there or nothing that you can't call Herbalife and find out. Because in 5.5 years, there's like been one time that I remember that I had to actually ask Super for like a conversation. And it was because he did like something that was different. He did like a forecasting. They do like a forecasting thing with numbers, and I didn't understand how he got one of the numbers. So I tried it myself 100 times and I couldn't figure it out. So then I went ahead and I asked him to have him sit me down. But the crazy thing is, like, you'll get everything that you want just by being around leaders and mentors. And here's a question that I want to. Yes. No, you can't sit on my lap. This girl is scaling me off. Julia, I need you to watch TV, please. Okay. Thank you. But one of the things that I really want to implore you all to do, this is for sure daddy's girl, by the way. If it's the other one don't care too much, she'll be in her own world. But this one here, she got to be seen. But back to the topic was, it's honestly, I don't know if y'all saw the post that I put with the accountability partner, like, well, people that'll tell you, hey, delete that off of Instagram. And, to have accountability. I saw a lot of people, posting their AP partners on there, and I don't really know all the people that were being posted, but my one thing in my mind was I was hoping that people aren't accountability partners with somebody who is doing a lot, I don't want to say worse than them, but not on the same pathway up. If you get what I'm saying, like you're around somebody who is okay with, where they're at, and not really working super hard to go my people, Super Mario, Terrence Harkless, both on the same path. We both going to the same place. Do I have other friends who I talk to on a daily basis? Yes, I got homies, I got brothers. Yeah, I talk to my mom, but I can't have them hold me accountable because they still got to hold themselves accountable, and they got to even want to be better in the first place. So this whole thing about, asking or for help, it stems around the people that you surround yourself with too. If you're around somebody, like, I think another reason why I don't have to ask for help is because I'm just in these conversations a lot of times, and I learn a lot from Terrence, because Terrence is very good at the marketing plan. He's great at numbers. So guess what? I'm gonna be around him and I'm gonna be talking numbers, so I can learn. He'll be around me while I'm talking about products and how to change your body. It's a difference. So, evaluating the people that you're around, sometimes you don't have to ask too many questions. But outside of that, literally everything I think is on myherbalife.com, and it's on Herbalife, or the 866-866-4744. If you don't know what number I just gave you right now, boy, that's where we start. I had to why do they keep saying 866-866-4744? Remember that number. Y'all know what that number is? Distributor relation. That's who that is. That's Herbalife. And if you don't know that number, then we're going to start there. Another question that I got, and this is a two-part question, and I think this is a very, very good question, is knowing when to pour into people who aren't ready for my attention. And it's a very good question about pouring into people. And here's what I tell you. Here's a question for you guys. Have I ever picked up the phone, for those who I communicate with, have I ever really picked up the phone and called you and been like, yo, we got to get it together. We got to do more. Or damn, we don't even call people. Like, maybe I'll check in, see how you're doing. Look at my front line. Look at the people who I talk to. You want to know who to pour into when they get on the call? When they show up to an STS? This is like where you get a chance to get what you're supposed to get. And then when you go to the events, that's where you get what you're supposed to get. And the crazy thing is, I think a lot of times every single person that comes in your business is not going to be like a rock star, and they're not going to be somebody who does 5K, and they're not going to be somebody that goes to supervisor off the bat. You got to realize Herbalife, once you come in, it's up to the person to decide where they want to be. And I'm going to tell you, Seven used to hit, it gets into a habit of messaging me, often, or asking me questions, especially at the beginning. And that wasn't me telling her that she had to do that. That was, hey, somebody decided that they wanted to pop off and she's seeking the guidance. I'm not going to beg nobody to be anything in this company, because if I have to beg you to be something, or I have to beg you to show up, or if I have to beg you to dress a certain way, talk a certain way, walk a certain way, I'm going to have to continuously do that. And we're not in the business of babysitting. We're in the business of building businesses. So we have to allow people to be who they're going to be. And if somebody wants to change, they will show you that they're ready to change. That's a quote that we always say in Herbalife, what Seven just put in there. The teacher shows up when the student is ready. And you have to realize, especially for those who are brand new and you don't have that many people, understand this. When you have 100 people in your downline, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you got 1,000 people in her downline. You think 1,000, you think she got time for 1,000 questions? 1,000 people asking their questions, pouring into 1,000 people every day? Sorry, probably not. I think I got 27, almost 3,000, 2,700, almost 3,000 people in our org. You think I got time to literally look at my phone all day and pour into everybody? It's just not going to be that. Because one thing that I've really, really mastered is, and this is the second part of the thing, was controlling my energy. How do I control my energy? And it's literally, I had a conversation, well, not a conversation, but we had an event with Amber Wick, and she talked about energy balloons. And then I talked to Terrence, and then Terrence was like, yo, you actually get to control what you respond to and who you talk to. You know that, right? And for me, I'm so dedicated to knowing that I'm working to become the best version of myself. The people that I'm giving my energy to, we got to be on the same wavelength. I'm not giving away my energy for nothing. And there's no short. I think this is an important thing that people might want to know. There's no shortage of people. If you got 20 people and don't nobody want to act right, and don't nobody want to, go up the marketing plan, listen, first of all, it's their right. If they want to do 500 volume points, 5,000 volume points, 5 volume points, let them. Don't try to make them do more than what they want to do. But the more people you add to the pot, there's going to be 1 or 2 people eventually that, oh, snaps. Because this is a conversation most recently, this is fresh in my mind because it happened with with Seven, and we're just, having a conversation about the people that she has, and she, not understanding why, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, bam, Gabby comes along. Now stuff makes sense. Because you have one person who wants to really go and really like whatever it takes. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go talk to 100 people today. No problem. And then when you get those people, you're like, man, I really might have to talk to 60 people to get one, but it's worth it. Because you only really need 5 serious business builders to change your life forever. I'm telling y'all, the number, it ain't changed. They've been saying this for 30 years. You only really need 5 serious people who are business, that really want to build a business in your front line to change your business. And your job is to fill the 95% until the 5% reveals itself. So keep filling your pot, keep filling, because if you ever feel like it's a shortage of people, just go to the mall and walk around for 30 minutes and ask yourself how many people in that mall probably could benefit from being on some shakes and tea. And then go to, like one of the grocery stores and just walk around and say how many people can probably benefit from some shakes and tea. And then you go back home and realize that you probably walked past 300 people that probably could use some shake and tea, and that you ain't even have to really go that far. So it's no shortage of people out there. So you gotta hold your energy at a high value. And this is a question I want to ask everybody: how much do you actually value your energy? Because I'm not just giving away my time to everybody. You got to show up for me. I'm sorry. I don't care how good of friends we are. I don't care how nice of a person you are. Listen, my energy is probably the most valuable thing I got, because when I'm around my kids, depending on how my day has went and who I've given my energy to, I might not be in a great mood and they don't deserve it. And I go be around other people who are my friends, and I done gave my energy away to all these people who didn't value it, and now I'm treating people wrong because I done gave my energy away. And one of the most amazing things is when you have an enlightening moment that says, your job isn't to make everybody happy. It's not your job. Your job is to become like I think, I don't know who told me this, but it was like, yo, your job, and it wasn't even an Herbalife conversation. They were like, your job is to be the best you. Like, your one job on this planet is to take care of yourself, to become the best you, not to make your Instagram followers happy, not to make your family members happy. Your job is to take care of you, so then that your family that you have coming along, like your kids and your kids' kids, so that they have a good chance at life. That's your job, is to take care of yourself, and to switch up how we want to be because of how other people feel is not always the best thing. So your energy is important, because at the end of the line, which is retirement for us, whatever position you're in at that point in time, you're not going to be able to blame it on nobody. You can't blame it on all the people you gave your energy to. You can't blame it on your mama. You can't blame it on your cousin. You can't blame it on your sister. It's you. All the decisions that you made. So I'm fine with people being mad at me for right now, but you can't be mad at me because I want better for my life. You want me to be your friend. Okay, you want to sit around the table and have broke conversations? Cool. That ain't me. Let us sit around and complain about how, we trying to do something to not get the lights cut off. Like, I used to have these conversations all the time. But I choose not to. You have to choose not to let that be where your energy and your focus goes. So I think before we even go on, a lot of us really might have problems with this. And it may be the thing that is going to hold you back forever. You can't let go of people. Oh, my mom, I really wish, like I told we had a call earlier, and I was like, I hope everybody saw my live yesterday. So I think it's still up there for like another hour or so. But my live from yesterday, we literally, me and Sarah were talking about this same exact thing. Because somebody asked me, like, Steven, are you an anomaly? And I can ask, like, Annie, are you an anomaly? Or Kylie and Orlando, are you an anomaly for making it to the tab team? And the answer is honestly, a lot of times we're not an anomaly. We just probably are better at making decisions with our time and who we spend it with and the things that we invested on. It ain't no difference. People want to be, and here's a crazy situation, a scenario I see a lot. People would justify it. Oh, you got to have balance. It's good to have balance. And they'll justify an excuse all the time. People create all kinds of reasons to make sense to why this has been a homie, he had my back, or this is my mom, she's always been there for me. Listen, hey, preaching to the choir. My mom was always there for me. But if at a certain point in their life, they chose to stop growing and just live, and I chose to keep going. So my job, guess what? I get to get better. So guess what? In turn, they're going to want to be better. But if nobody is in your circle trying to get better because y'all all trying to kick it with each other, or y'all all trying to be cool, or y'all all trying to be like whatever, like nobody grows. And then y'all just the homies sitting at the table for Thanksgiving talk about what could have been. And nobody really has time for that. So the real reason why a lot of people don't elevate is because they don't know how to levitate past people. Or they're not even willing to let go. I gotta stay a part of this club. Oh, we play basketball or football every week, so I can't cut that off. Yes. Go give her a hug. Tell I said give you a hug. Now they fight. But back to the topic at hand. Because I feel like this it's a super important topic because I see it a lot. And I even see it with a lot of my downline. They literally will hear this part and they'll make an excuse and the reason why they want to continue, relationships. That it's not that you're saying you want to not be friends with somebody no more. And you're not saying that you don't want to you don't value somebody as a person anymore. But you have to figure out, do you value yourself and your life and your legacy over kicking it with people, going out to the club, going bowling, going to play basketball, riding bikes, whatever it is? Like, do you value yourself enough? So I feel like this is an important thing because it's something I realize about myself. I don't care. Some people don't even like going to the movies alone. Hell, I'll do I enjoy my alone time because I get to move how I want to move. And I think it ain't even really a vision that people don't see. I think the narrative is just about being like loyal to your people. The narrative is, all like, it's just not enough people, and especially prior to social media, we just don't see enough other ways to be successful. So people find comfort. They're always looking to be comfortable. Y'all know it's an innate human like trait to want to be comfortable, to not change. That's what the human does. Which is why when you go to the gym and you work out and you're sore, your body does not want to change. Your body wants to stay the same. So as humans, we're creatures of adaptation. We want to do whatever, we want to adapt, and we want to stay the same. So when it's time to be stretched and it's time to grow, people are not going to be ready to do that because it's uncomfortable. They look weird. Y'all know at least one time I burn it up. At least one time. So, I really spend a lot of time on that because I think unless you get that in your head and you're not willing to separate yourself from people in situations and activities that aren't what they call business building activities or whatever, because you want to have fun, trust me, I'm going to tell y'all, man, I wanted to have fun. For 2.5 years, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to go partying. I wanted to go to the club. I wanted to go bowling all the time. I wanted to go play in the basketball league. But guess what? My bank account didn't say that I was able to do that. It didn't say I had, my bank account wasn't telling me the balance. You know, we talking about balance. My balance in my bank account wasn't balanced. So it was literally stuff that I couldn't do. My bank account balance says you don't need to be out here wasting time and hours on stuff because you want to have balance in life. Ain't no such thing. It's literally no such thing. So it's like a choice that you get a chance to make. Some of y'all taking it in. Some of y'all not. Some of y'all thinking really hard. Some of y'all like, boy, you tripping. Cool. That's why the 95% exists, and it's okay. It's a nice, comfortable space in the 95%. But guess what? I'm not signing up for that course. What's going to be the difference? It's not going to be easy for you to become what's probably never been in your family history. It's not going to be easy for you to be the person, especially if you don't have a history of like people who are like, you know, very, very successful business owners or very, very successful in their own field of work. If you don't have a lineage of that, it's just going to be even harder for you to be the first. You really got to be like, man, I don't give a F. I don't care. I'm going to be who I need to be regardless. So make sure you monitor, man. I promise you. Listen, my little brother, he lived 10 minutes away from me. I don't kick it with him. I show him love. I repost this stuff all the time. Different conversation. We on a different conversation most of the time. It ain't a conversation about elevation. Now my brother is in a different light. He's seeing a lot of success. Now we meet up, we talk, we have lunch, we talk about business. But for a minute, I had to not be around you because you're super negative. Sister, same way, super negative. But guess what? Guess what I think changed? Big brother changed. Big brother grew. So now you see me in a different light and I'm able to be who I need to be for you. My mom, the same way. My mom, y'all be seeing my mom, like how emotional she gets on all my stuff. If y'all know who my mom is, my God, y'all know how she be like so freaking over the top every time I may post something or when people recognize me for something. But it's because I needed to be that for her. Now she can see that you actually can be a little bit different. You can have a different kind of mentality. But I had to be willing to be that person first with like little to no guidance. So, but moving on to that question, obviously, Josh, that was clearly a good question. So for the last 20 minutes, we talked about it. But moving on, so I'll make sure that I get to all the to everything. This one says face to face, and that's like 4 people asked about face to face, and I'm gonna talk about that probably at the end. A button hit response, massive flyering, business conversations, blah blah blah. All right, most of this is the same. So it's kind of shifting gears a little bit. All of the rest of these questions, how to do face to face, and what do you do when somebody asks you for your button, like asks you how on your button, you know, when to have business conversations. You know, here's what I'll tell you, and this is a conversation I had with Orlando 4 years ago. The problem is a lot of people, and I want to, here's what I want to do. Y'all know me, I'm very, very like diligent about making sure I apply what I say to real life situations. I don't know, maybe it's a talent of mine. I don't know. We'll discuss that at another time. But I'm really big on things making sense to you. So how many of you guys have ever had a 9-to-5 job and you went to the job and they gave you no like outline of what the job is and how to do your job? They just like, they always give you a script, right? I know when I was a personal trainer or when I was selling personal training, they gave me a script. They literally gave me a script to read off. And when I went to my job at Target, didn't they not sit you down to have training with you? And they taught you how to do your job and you followed that script and you were able to like, boom, boom, boom. If you're an actor, what do they give you? A script. literally everything has order. But when we come into this business, we don't have that. Or we do have it, we don't follow it. And I was thinking today, I've never really wrote down like my script. And this is when I think everybody on this call can benefit from this. And what I call this, I wrote at the top, and if you guys see, I just did like the following the arrow type situation. I know y'all trying to look and see if that is. I think I'm gonna redraw it, and I could just take a picture of this and put it in the group. Actually, to be honest, but it's titled "Flow to Active World Team," and I titled it that because if you can get the Active World Team, you literally can get anywhere. Yeah, we had STS Saturday. Appreciate you. Who feels like they have no clue what to do? Annie, don't answer. Gabrielle, don't answer. We know y'all are different with the face-to-face. But who feels like when you go out and you talk to people, you don't know what the heck to say? Even Gabby. Oh, great scenario, great person to Gabby. Did you not have a script for a Kirby? Y'all had a script to follow, right? And when you followed the script for selling them vacuums and you did what you were supposed to do, you probably sold more vacuums. You made it your own, but you had a script. So, yes, you just want to be around. So here, I'm going to give you guys my script. And I feel like everybody should have an extremely similar one, because if you my front line, this is majority like how I brought majority of you in. Like this is literally the same thing. So here's what it is. And you guys can write it down. Just know that everything I say is just an arrow going to the next thing. It's a flow. It's a flow. So, and I'll put it in the group. So the very first thing is the interaction. So the very first word, we write down interaction, and I'll explain to you what I mean by the interaction. This is meeting someone. This is the button hit. This is you sending out invites. This is you meeting somebody out and about in the world. The interaction is first. And then there's the arrow to invitation. Now, during the invitation is when you do your 30-second story. And this is something we'll probably practice next week. 30-second stories, making sure that everybody understands how to do their 30-second story. But I got my buttons right here. Somebody says, hey, how? First response is, are you serious or are you curious? And when they tell me that, it don't even really, honestly, to be honest, it just don't matter what they say. Like if they say, I'm just curious or I'm just serious, that's when we say our 30-second story. Well, my name is Steven. I've been a part of Herbalife now for 5 years. Prior to Herbalife, I was this, that, and the third. I found this amazing community. I really wanted to be a part of it. I started taking the products. And what's crazy is I cut my body fat from 12% to 6%, and I gained 40 pounds of lean muscle. I started sharing that with a bunch of people, and now this is something that I do part-time around my full-time job. I earn about this much money. Is that something that is would interest you? And that's all you say at the invitation. You always end with, are you interested? Or is that something that interests you? And here's the reason why. Now, I'm going to side note this. Some of you guys are good at just going out and talking to people. Like some of you can get like a 3-day trial off just by going out and meeting somebody at the gym. This ain't for you. This is for duplication purposes, because everybody can't talk to people. It doesn't matter what you can do. It's what you can duplicate. So as long as you can duplicate something that's super, super simple, you're going to be able to build a team a whole lot faster. So doing the invitation, and then the next arrow is the presentation. So during the invitation, you're setting up the presentation. You never be like, hey, well, let's sit down and have a talk about the Formula 1, the Formula 2, and the Formula 3. And let's get you on the scale right now. Like, no, it's you invite to a presentation. And the reason I was taught this is when I'm out and about, let's say I'm grocery shopping, I may not have my book on me. I may not have my scale on me. I want to probably have samples to give you. I want to be prepared for the meeting. So it's filling your schedule. So you have the interaction in which, and you start the invitation, you invite them to the presentation. This is how business people do it. You set up meetings. So once you set up the presentation, you do your presentation. For me, during my presentation, I like to always, if they're at my club, I like to always have them sample the shakes and tea, because I want them to know what they're getting into. For somewhere else, and I got lift off, I'm like, here, throw this in some water. I want to get them a product result right away, or at least have them knowing that it don't taste bad. Because y'all know people will literally buy if it tastes good, they're like, oh yeah, this banana caramel, I'm on. Or this lift off, I don't know what you gave me, but I need more of them. Now you upselling because you're giving a product that ain't even part of the original package. But the important part is that presentation, and then the next is presentation, arrow, then it's client or preferred member. Now, depending on and this is where you get to do the business how you want to do it. For me, I PM everybody because I don't need instant like retail money right away, but some people may need retail money right away. So you can client them and get the retail money right away. Whatever works for you, works for you. That's awesome. So once you go from client, the next arrow over is mastering follow-up and getting them results. So and this is where we start to get some breakdown, because some people sign up a client, and I feel bad for y'all who ain't taking notes. But this is how you get your clients and put them on a follow-up schedule. For instance, y'all saw me, I posted a picture of the PMs that I got. They're still clients. So I got the PMs. I told them when they get their product, wake up in the morning, take their picture, and every Wednesday we're going to check in. I created a group on Telegram. I keep everything in Telegram, regardless if I have their phone number or not. Everything's in Telegram because everything we do is in Telegram. And I'm on my computer right now. So guess what? I can pull up Telegram and I can hit up all my clients at the same time instead of going to look for them in my phone. All of my contacts in Telegram are obviously for my business. No, I don't. But I need y'all to go watch TV because y'all be interrupting my flow. I think you want to go watch TV. Okay? Sarai, you don't see me talking? Sarai, go watch TV. I'll come in there in a second. Go ahead. Boy, I tell you, it'd be killing me off. Are you referring to the pictures taken every week? For me, I want people to, I'll answer that question in simpler. Yes, there's a reason for follow-up, and it's not even so much pictures. I just need to talk to people every day, every week. And because the crazy thing is sometimes people won't talk to somebody for like 10 days, and somebody gonna have made the shakes wrong, somebody that made the tea wrong, somebody done, they probably don't even like their products. Y'all know when I talked to Annie, and it was, I don't even know if she remembered, but they told me how they make the shakes, how they was making the shakes at the class. And it was literally like, I think it was like 12 ounces of water, 1 scoop of Formula One. And it was like, how in the hell? We wanted to stretch it out so the shake lasted a month. So like, that's why we talk to the people all the time. I can't let it go because it makes sense. It applies. I turned it back off for you. But that's the reason why I have follow-up every week. But also, another reason why I have follow-up every week is because my goal in this flow is to have a 2-week result. My goal is always a 14-day result, a 2-week result, and I want you just to compare your pictures from day 1, day 14. Also, I'm in contact with you throughout the week to see how you feel, to make sure the shakes taste good to you, see if we got to make any corrections, see if you can master the best day ever. Do you talk to them individually every week or every month? For me, also, I have days of the week. So I'm very, very detailed, guys. So Wednesday for me is my off day, but it's also the day that I will send my clients a reminder. So I don't completely take the day off, but it's for me, I still on every single Wednesday for the last 5 years, it's when I send my clients just, hey, how you doing? I'm just checking in on you, seeing how everything is going. Remember, pictures are due Friday. Do you need anything? Do you need some assistance? Do you need help? And I can copy the same message. Here's what I learned from Roxy and Aubrey. I can copy the same follow-up message. And when I'm in Telegram, you know how fast I can send that to all my clients? Bing, 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 bing. Oh, 10, how you doing? And then as they respond throughout the day, I don't have to be going back and forth between text messages and forgetting to hit people back because it's all in Telegram. But my goal inside of Telegram is to, and then obviously all the pictures and things are archived. It just makes it a lot easier for me to have everything in one place. So I do message them periodically. My calendar goes off and says follow up with clients. And I literally, when it goes off, I go to my Telegram and I follow up with my clients. And it is a weekly thing. And I know once the 2-week mark hits, this is where the next thing comes in for me. So I had y'all had the arrow that says clients to client PM to follow up and get results. And then the next arrow after that is the business presentation or invitation. This is my personal flow. Some of you guys may do it different. But for me, once I get somebody a 2-week result, I'm inviting them to an opportunity. Whether they take it or not, it's on them. But this is where you get your feelings out of the mix. Because even if they told you no, cool, they'll just continuously be a client. Cool, no problem. But I'm always inviting them to whether it depends on, I say invitation to a presentation or a business presentation where I'm doing a marketing plan, or I'm inviting them to a HOM, or I'm inviting them to STS, whatever's coming up, I'm inviting them to that. So like we have an STS on Saturday. I had some clients. I'm like, hey, man, y'all got some crazy results. You know, we're going to be celebrating you at the event in Long Beach on Saturday. Would you want to come? It's free. So after you go from, and I think since you put the thing in there, for me, I have client PM on the same. It says it's client in parentheses PM. Then the arrow says get results. Then the next arrow is business presentation or invitation. So once you do the business presentation, let's just say this person signs up. So the next arrow goes to sign up. Then the next arrow is orientation. And I think this is important because we have orientation. We literally have a guideline for you to follow to get somebody started. So get them the getting started folder. Then the next arrow, and this is an important one, teach them the distributor action plan, which means you basically work with them and teach them how to get 5 to 7 clients. So if your job is not, and this is what I want to tell you guys, it's important. It isn't to get somebody to senior consultant. It isn't to get somebody to qualified producer. It isn't to get anybody to supervisor. Yes, you go over the marketing plan with them. Understand, they'll know that. But your job was really going to be in perfecting getting them 5 to 7 clients. Because if you get them 5 to 7 clients and you teach them how to get 5 to 7 clients, well, what happens indirectly? They're going to at least be a senior consultant. And if the orders is big enough, like you hitting them with them Gabby orders, you might be a qualified producer. Might even be a supervisor. I don't know if you're doing $250 plans. I don't know. But that's the thing. Like, you teach them 5 to 7. And I'm telling you, and the reason why I'm telling you guys the simplicity of this is you teach your new distributor how to get 5 to 7. Then as they're going out there now, starting to get clients, my next arrow is they get clients. Now you teach them that flow that we just did. You're teaching them interaction, invitation, presentation, client, follow-up, business. So now you're teaching them that. Guess what happens? They're mastering 5 to 7, and they're mastering how to give people the business opportunity. So once that happens, they're eventually going to do what? They're eventually going to hit supervisor. So my next arrow is they hit supervisor. But here's an important thing. They hit supervisor with clients, PMs, and probably distributors. Because one thing that I've seen, and I talked about this earlier, if you were on our our future tab call, is a girl asked me, how come I can get all these people to the supervisor, but when they get to supervisor, they only do like 1,000 volume points? Well, that's because that's all they ever known. How did you get to supervisor? I'm gonna ask somebody. I can ask, like, I don't know, I'm looking at this screen, and we really ain't gonna even do that. I'll just use myself as an example. I'm talking to myself. Steven, how do you get to supervisor? Well, I got about 20 clients started on plans, and in the first month, and I did about 1,100 volume points. And the next month, I did the same thing, and I did the 2,000 volume points, and I was supervisor. But I can't figure out how to do this 2,500. You know what my problem is? I didn't have a flow of bringing people into business. I'm just getting clients. So guess what? If I did 1,000 volume points and then I did 1,200 volume points, when I hit supervisor, what's going to change? I'm going to be doing the same volume. I'm still going to be a supervisor doing 1,000 volume points, 800 volume points, and nothing's going to change because all I ever was doing was getting clients. I didn't have a distributor flow, and I wasn't following a flow. But if you get into the habit of doing literally what I just said, after 2 weeks, you giving everybody, or whatever your goal is. Some of y'all might do might do a month before you invite people to the business opportunity. Listen, everybody is getting an invitation to this business opportunity. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they make a lot of money or a little bit of money. If they ain't got time, they got a lot of time in the world. You're going to at least listen to an opportunity meeting. I get people every week who listen to an opportunity meeting. I never hear from them again. Cool, no problem. At least I did my job with presenting you with the opportunity. That's all I really was supposed to do, was give you that opportunity. Cool. I have no attachments, so I don't care whether you decide to sign up or not. I hope you do. I'm here to help you if you do, but I'm not attached to you signing up or not. My job is back to the beginning. Interact with somebody, get them an invitation to a presentation, turn them into a client, get them a result, business presentation, repeat, repeat, repeat. It's literally the name of the game. So at the last thing that I have is here. It was the once your supervisors become or once they become supervisors with distributors, you teach them to teach their distributors what you were taught. And now you've literally, what is this? 1, 2, 3. This is like 12 steps that you literally repeat the process. So here's the answer to a lot of your questions. What do I say to people when I go out? Well, my friend, what are you inviting them to? So that's the second part. Interaction, invitation. Well, I'll be hot damn if that ain't where a lot of people get stuck. Because guess what? You don't know what you're inviting them to. Are you inviting them to a club? Are you inviting them to a challenge? This is why I think it's extremely important to have events, or at least some sort of space that you utilize. Even if you got to call Starbucks your office, you should have a space. I don't really tell people to go to the house too much because it gets really weird with having brand new people in your house. So I don't really recommend doing that. But I mean, you can do whatever you want to do in this business and you can make it. But my thing is to strongly get attached to an event. So when you go out, and here's the question: somebody said they're one of their problems is flyering. Well, the problem is you probably flyer into yourself. I think somebody at the house in Miami was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna talk to 100 people at the somewhere," and I'm like, "Well, what are you inviting them to?" If you have no event, if you have no club, if you have no fit camp, if you have no spa party, if you have nothing that you're committed to, which is if you got a club around you, this is why I say you win it. Even if you have a fit camp in Atlanta, y'all got a fit camp. I think y'all got a couple now. Which one are you committed to? Because the one that you committed to, the one that people know that you're always going to be at, that's what you're inviting them to. Because guess what you can do? Hey, come like 15 minutes early so we can do what? The presentation. I have somebody coming to fit camp tonight. I'm glad I just looked at the clock because they coming in 30 minutes. But they're coming before the class. so we can get their numbers. And when people see their numbers, oh, they probably finna be a client because they're like, well, my body age is 97. Wait a minute, let me get the shape right now. That'd be the one that get him. I think that got my mom's husband. He's like, he sat there for like 20 minutes, like, man, that thing said my body age is 72. Man, I can't. Man, here my debit card. Like, it was literally easy because they saw the numbers. But I'm gonna tell you all, here's the difference between somebody who's a distributor and they're confused on what to do versus the people who fly up the marketing plan. It's what flow are you committed to, if any? I've been doing this for 6 years. And I just now realized that I gotta wait when my business kind of goes down, it's kind of all over the place. I'm getting away from the simplicity, the flow. Because I can go out right now and I can sell somebody on a $350 plan without having to ever have them come to my club. I can sit down with you for 15, 20 minutes and be ready to have you do my business. But it ain't about that. The name of the game is what? Royalties. So if I can't teach somebody how to become a supervisor with a team, then I'm just out here doing high volume with no purpose. Or I'm out here making money myself and I'm capping myself. Y'all know the way to make real money in Herbalife is the royalties. Our organization last month did 6,600 royalty overrides. Do y'all know what that means? The minimum, and when I did my 2,500, the minimum check that I would get is going to be for $6,600 on my royalty check. Not my wholesale, just the royalty check. And then an additional 4% of that, which is like another $4,500, almost $5,000. How does that happen? Well, Steven just played the royalty game. Get supervisors, and I'm not just getting supervisors based on them getting clients. I'm getting supervisors who know how to be business builders. It's a difference. So the question really begs to you all is, how committed to you are? I think, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like that's a solid flow. I feel like that's easy to follow. Do anybody else feel like that's really easy to follow? It's fairly simple. And you're probably looking at it like, oh, like this is actually makes a whole lot. I was skipping this whole step. I bet you a lot of people was like, I'm doing the presentation at the invitation. And I'll be telling y'all, you gotta stop talking so much. I think I said it before. I think y'all heard me say this before. You gotta stop talking so much. Y'all ever hear the Mark Hughes where he's like he'll talk to somebody, then he'll set up the presentation and he'll be like, yeah, such okay, it's gonna be $150. How are you gonna pay? He'll sit there and he'll wait. And some people will be like, it's $150. How do you pay? And they'll be like, well, you know what? You can actually, we can take off the allo if you need to take off the allo. And we can you know what? And we can even split it up for you if you want me to split it up. Or you can pay a little now, pay a little later, and talk yourself out of the sale. It's like you can over talk. And when you follow the steps, it's simple. The invitation is easy because you can do the invitation when. It's like sometimes I think we like, man, the more I talk, the more now I'm finna say something that's gonna get them. Oh no, that ain't it. Go out whenever somebody has something to say. Listen, this is going back to valuing your time. Because all you're doing at the invitation is you're inviting them to a wellness evaluation. Guess what? You get the weed out of the people who ain't serious, because if they don't show up, well, guess what? That's an hour of win that you probably would have wasted talking to them at the invitation. They didn't even show up. Cut them off. Cool. All I did was have a 30-second conversation with them, invited them, and they didn't even show up. Awesome. I didn't waste too much energy on that one. That's literally what I do. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. This is how I went up the marketing plan super fast without stress. I can do this to 30 people tomorrow. Invitation. Fill your calendar. That's the thing I'm gonna tell you guys, and it's important. Fill your calendar. Y'all know Annie, y'all see her post her planner. I guarantee you all she's really doing is filling her calendar. And then as the meetings come, then I already know what I'm getting myself into. So that is a smooth hour on the simplicity of Herbalife. If you want to go faster, if you want to do higher volume, guess what? You just do more. And if you want to earn a couple extra $100, you still got to do it. But now you don't have to burn yourself out. Some of y'all got kids that keep coming into the room when you trying to do stuff. You may not have that much time. So I have to value my time because I'm still like at heart, I'm still a parent. I still own things. I still like to have a life. So I can't have my entire day just be wrapped around having this initial conversation. So I think even Annie mentioned this before. I believe it was Annie who mentioned this before, or Seven, one of them. Treating your business like a business. And that's where I get back to the original part. Like when you sign up for any job, and I think the last question was like, how much time do I dedicate to, how much time to spend on your business, a day, a week, or whatever. This don't take that long. Well, I'll cut out hours. Some of y'all cutting hours out of y'all life by not talking so much at the invitation. You're saving yourself a lot of energy and a lot of time. Fill up your invitations and then fill up your calendar. And you know what's dope too? I'm gonna tell y'all what's dope. I didn't realize it until I ran into the problem. Somebody I met they was like, they wanted to have a meeting with me, right? And I looked at my phone and I was like, ooh, I got 4 meetings on Friday. Can we do Monday? They was like, dang, you really be doing this like that? You really? Oh, yes. And guess what that makes you look like? A business person too. Hey, you free on? Let me pull out my calendar real quick. All right, cool. Y'all see me every day. I always got to turn the brightness down. Literally every day, I control my calendar. These are all events that happen and the time is going off. The last thing says Hero Camp, 7 o'clock. That's where I'm headed after this. I'm in control because guess what I'm building? I'm building $1 million business. So this is like the basics of creating $1 million business. I'm literally not just willy-nilly doing my business. I'm following the plan. And this is how easy you guys' business can be. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions or anything before we get off of this week's call? All the calls are going to be like this, by the way. This is just a foundational thing so we can get all this stuff out of the way. But does anybody have any questions? Are we good to go? You appreciate it, you like it, you felt like it was stupid, you felt like it was awesome. Let me know. Tina, go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to send a picture of it.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were saying about talking too much, that's me. If I'm telling somebody about a plan and I tell them how much it is, and then I kind of get the vibe that like that's not within their budget, I struggle between having a balance of trying to work with their budget and talking too much. Mm-hmm. So what's the balance between that?
Okay. Well, first thing that we're going to say is there's no such thing as balance. So we're going to throw that word out of the entire equation. Now, here's a question I'd have to ask you. Have you ever went to the mall and you asked how much was this pair of shoes? These pair of shoes is $150. Okay. Well, can you like maybe take that down to $125? No, it don't happen. But if you really want it, You're going to figure out the way to get that extra $25, right? The thing is, this tea, it's a value to this. I'm not going to diminish the value of what I know that the products would do. So what I personally would do, first off, we talk prices way too early inside of our conversation, and we give people way too many options. So for me, when I send y'all, like in the group, I sent, like, my thing is, for the rest of my time during Herbalife, what I want to do, because I want to get everybody in my business, I'm selling everybody shake, tea, aloe, PDM. That's it. Like, I'm not going to sell you anything else, because you can get all the lift offs and the probiotics and the prolessas and all that stuff and later on. And my Mia, my sister Mia, she has 2 plans. She does the shake, tea, aloe with the 7-day prolessa, or she does shake, tea, aloe just by itself. Or she calls it the healthy breakfast plan. Doesn't matter that her plan is different than mine. What matters? It's just 2 plans. That's it. And it's not a plans that are expensive. Because guess what? I'm not looking to hit nobody over the head for no $250 off rip. That's not my goal. I don't care how big of a bloop I get. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is you trusting me that I'm not trying to rip you off. I'm going to get you the results, because I saw somebody else ask, like, what products do you start people on? Listen, I don't care if you're big, short, tall, fat, skinny, ugly. Well, that we ain't got no products for that. But we skincare line. But outside of that, I don't care where your starting point is. Everybody needs to start on shake and tea. Like, that's literally it. Now, everything else is an addition. Y'all heard what Super start on? He's added a rebuild on the back end. For me, I started off with mint chip shake and tea. Got my body fat down. Then I got the Formula One Sport once I was in. The thing is, everybody needs core nutrition from the beginning. So if I was in your position and I talk to people about, if I'm randomly out and I meet somebody and they got a question about Herbalife, or I'm having a conversation, this is what I'm going to say. Oh, you're curious about Herbalife? Awesome, cool. When can we meet? Oh, when do you have time to meet? Oh, you got time right now? I'm sorry, I don't have that time. Well, can we just set up a time to meet this week? So we can sit down and where we can hash everything out. They're going to take you serious. Then, bam, then you get to the meeting. You do the wellness evaluation. You guys know we have the wellness evaluation papers, right? You just go over the wellness evaluation with them. And at the end, you'll be like, these are the 2 plans that I have. Which one of these fits your budget? And then be quiet. And they'll give you the answer. Literally, that's it. Like, and if they can't afford it, oh, well, at least we got 3-day trials, right? $20. That's always, for me, that's in the back pocket, though. If you lead with 3-day trials, keep leading with 3-day trials. I'm not telling you to switch up what you do. I'm just telling you what I do. I feel like everybody I've ever talked to at least has a budget of $100. Whether it's today or whether it's next Friday. Cool, isn't it? I think Samba talked about this. I'm setting up, you can't afford this $150 plan today, but you want to get it next Friday? Cool, let me put that in my calendar. That's volume next week. And sometimes that's EOM, BOM volume. You have to this is what seed planning is, guys. So if I know that somebody like, man, you want to you got $125 you want to spend, but it's next Thursday. Awesome. I'll be talking to you next Thursday. Nice meeting with you. And you roll out. It literally becomes, as simple as that. And guess what? You're not heartbroken because you didn't really even go into it expecting anything. So, Josh, you had a question?
Yeah. So when I know you said that you hit them up like weekly for like updates and everything like that, but do you get in the chat on a daily basis with them, or you just strictly like weekly?
No. It ain't daily basis. I actually follow a structure. Monday is my motivational Monday, so I send them some PD sometimes on Mondays, and then Wednesdays I'm just checking in on them. Fridays it's a picture, because some people just want to buy the shakes and then know what to do, and then they don't want you all in their face. And some people are going to want to be more hands-on, and you'll find out like how they're responding to you. If the people are taking a long time to respond to me, I'll give them their space. If there are couples, like I had a couple that signed up, it's a different chat because they're sending pictures and everything. You know, people all the way ain't comfortable with that. Now, I will tell you this: some people, and even some of you guys, have successful client chats, and you can put all your people in the chat, and it'll run just fine. But for me, I've tried it 3 times, and it ain't worked none of the times. So for me, I control my business, right? So I can take an hour out of my day and have that hour be dedicated to me responding and hitting up my clients, and then go about my day. So that's just what I choose to do, and this works for me, and it's not overwhelming because it's not like it's an all-day follow-up process. But I do stick to a very strict schedule when I talk about, you know, I have Holly doing it now. I'm like, she's like, listen, every Monday we coming up with some PD for them to watch. Wednesday, I need them to reach out to them and let them know I'm still there. I'm not bothering you, just checking in, seeing if you need anything. Cool, awesome. We'll be talking on Friday. That way you're not overbearing. So I've been overbearing before and drove people out the business. And I don't want to do that no more. So anybody else with anything before we get out of here? 7 added Danica. Danica must be popping off. Awesome. Well, if nobody has anything else, the call is recorded. Once I get home from Fit Camp tonight, I will post this inside of our business development chat. I don't know who's going to be speaking next week. We'll talk about it. But I really hope, like, honestly, this can be, like I told y'all, this is going to be a really good call. And if you took out of this, now I kind of understand how to do Herbalife. And there's literally like no questions. This is literally how you can get somebody from the point of meeting them to supervisor with distributors and repeat that process. Because the name of the game is royalty. You become royalty when you hit supervisor. So with that being said, that is it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. We'll be posting this call sooner or later. I will take a picture of like my little chart, whatever, and I'll post it inside of our group. And I will be seeing you guys later on. Have a fantastic rest of your day and an awesome start to your week. End. Peace.